The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
Hey guys, this is Krishna. Thank you for joining me in this new video. What we just saw in the video previously to this one, I showed you the different plugins for Equalizer that I had. But the goal of that was just to show you a little bit some of the things included in the equalizers. If you already have your own equalizers that you're already familiar with, that you like, go ahead, stick with that, right? The main thing is really to have something that works with your workflow, that you like, that you're comfortable with. But in case if you didn't have any plugins right now beside the ones that come with FL Studio, maybe you have a couple ideas there that I share with you, and maybe you might want to go ahead and purchase some of them in the future, right? So that was really the goal of that video. What we're gonna see here, we're gonna go ahead now and we're gonna apply those equalizers to the different tracks that we have here. We don't have a lot of tracks, we have about 7 tracks, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So let's go and do this. Usually what I'm trying to do on the track that I'm working on, I'm just trying to mute it. The other thing as well, because let's say like here in the beginning there is just that trumpet that is playing. Later on there's the kick, comes a little bit, 4 bars later on. So usually what I try to do, I try to look for the chorus, so the part where if not all of the instruments or most of the instruments are playing, right? So it seems to make it a little bit easier for me when I'm switching mixing tracks over here, right? So let's come up here, let's listen to our trumpet. So with that, what I'm gonna do, actually let me bring this back a little bit. I don't have the best headphones right now, so I might not be able to listen to all the subtleties when I'm using my mixer headphones, but let's go ahead. I just want to show you the concept. So most of the time what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with this EQ over here, right? The parametric line that comes with FL Studio. But again, my favorite one would be the fab filter over here, just because it shows you a lot of data there. So if we go ahead here, you're gonna notice that it seems like this trumpet over here is not really playing anything in the area. But there is another plugin that I'm gonna bring in, and this one is a free plugin. I'm also gonna have the description of it available for you. It's Pan. So that's the one that you saw over here. This one over here, right? And you see it's free. You can go ahead and download it. I'm gonna have it available. You can just see what's there and type that, right? So let me go back to here. When I have this plugin here, we're seeing a little bit of the same thing, where in this area it doesn't seem like anything is playing. But this plugin has some options for the spectrum, and what we can do, so now you see it seems like there wasn't anything playing here, but we're able to see now all the data. So that's why it's usually quite important, even though there might not be anything there, just to clean up, make sure that there is not something there that is building up. So this is the main thing, and one of the reasons why again I like a little bit more of this one, because it shows me a little bit more data right away, right? So when we come up here, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna look for a high pass filter, right? So the high pass filter, basically what it does is it says that any frequencies that is below this line, this is one I want to let through, right? So with that, usually I want a little bit of the slope over here, the cutoff, to be a little bit sharp. So this is how I'm gonna have it, and I'm just gonna listen and see where it feels right to me, right? So about here, it seems like we're losing a lot of the character already of that trumpet, right? You see that we have lost quite a bit. If we continue, it feels like now that trumpet is like you're playing it over the phone. So I'm just gonna have it here, a little bit about here. I think that's fine. right? And same thing over here for this part. We're gonna go ahead, that it doesn't seem to have anything here, so we're gonna go ahead and try to clean that up as well. So this one is gonna be a high pass. Oh, sorry. This one is gonna be, sorry, this one is gonna be a low pass. Okay, so we're gonna have it like this, and I'm gonna bring it up here. That's done. Okay, so usually what I do is it could be, right, so if you're comfortable with it, you can have this one clean that up and have another one over here that does something else. You can use two parametrics just like this, right, and play around how you want it. But usually the way I like to go is I use the Tira 5AQ73 just because I'm just a little bit more comfortable with it. Okay? So over here as well, I'm going to listen. I'm going to try to see if I boost, if I bring it down, which ones works a little bit more. So it's, you know, creativity, trial and error. Sometimes you already know what you're looking for, but sometimes you don't know what a button can do or an effect can bring up. So I usually try different things there. So over here, it seems like it's a little bit too piercing for me. So I'm either gonna keep it here or here. Over here, it seems like it's gonna play under some type of cover, so I don't want that. So I'm gonna keep it between here and here. Right? I think that works for me a little bit more here. Same thing here. I can this one over here just add the frequencies, but right now all the frequencies are off. So later on we need to go ahead here and select which frequency we want over here. Right, so I'm going to play it. So over here, it seems like there is more character over here, but over here it's a little bit more piercing, right? And I'm going to try to see if I have those frequencies removed. Okay. So I'm gonna go with this one a little bit more character over here. When I was removing, when I had it removed like this, it seems like he was adding that trumpet was playing under a cover that I didn't, you know, something I didn't really want that effect. So I'm just gonna have it like this. Okay. So this is what I have here, and we can listen to it. And you have this option here that enables you to disable all the different effects that you have here all at once. So usually this is what I'm going to do to try to hear the before and after. It's subtle, but it brings a little bit more the character of that trumpet. Let's move over here now with the kick. Same thing, I'm just going to bring up my parametric over here, and I'm gonna and that's what I want over here. Going to go ahead and look for the high pass. Oh no, for this one actually, you know what, this is good because it's the same thing actually. So I just want to make sure that I'm right over here. Usually any frequencies that are below 20, our ears can already hear that, but still want to make sure that I'm cleaning that up. Over here, there is too much bass for that kick to be playing, so I want to make sure that I catch it here, right? So there is a little bit too much bass here that is a little bit playing that I don't want, right? It muddies a little bit everything. So over here, I'm gonna go ahead and have it as a slow pass, right? Yeah. So that's why I don't like this, because I need to think what is low pass, what is high pass. I want to see actually the diagrams of it. Makes it a little bit more easier for me. So let me go ahead over here. When it was over here, I found a little too much of that character is gone. So I want to bring that up just over here. I think it works a lot for me. And just bring it a little bit here. Okay. So I'm making a lot of space over here for some of the other instruments to play it. And for this one, instead of going with the TR5 EQ73, let's go with the Pultec, right? So with the Pultec, what you're gonna notice is, what I like is, I'm really boosting that right now, right? But it's really not clipping, right? And that's what I like. You know, this is one of the characteristics of this EQ over here, where it's still sweet, right? So, but usually I don't like to go that strong. Usually I try to keep it couple this around 2-3 decibels up, right? The thing with that is, usually when you come up here, it could be that you have some issue already at the very beginning, but it really depends again on the kind of thing that you're going for. So I'm just gonna keep it here. I'm just trying to make sure that really sounds a little bit good for me. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference, but I'm gonna keep it there. And now let's listen to it. Okay, so this is what we have, right? Okay, let's move up here. And I'm gonna have, again, my parametric. Clean that up. Okay. Okay. And over here I can go ahead and select the EQ73. Okay. So for this one, it seems like over here a little bit more character, but over here it's a little bit more dry. Just depends what I'm going for over here. So I'm gonna leave it here because I have a little bit more of that character with some type of block that is playing there, but it's still dry as well. If I leave it here, there's too much of that block that sound that I don't really want. So I'm gonna have it there. Let me see. Yeah, no. So I'm gonna have it here. Okay. So we don't have any information where everything has been removed, right? So over here, it's not really gonna do anything if we go over here and try to, right? So because we don't have any data there, that's really the main thing there. Okay. So if we listen to before and after, and now, right? Let's bring out the kick. Before. So you see it's really subtle, but we're bringing those instruments a little bit more. So over here, here we go. So those are the vocals. We're gonna move here. And just once again, so as you can see, we definitely have a lot of other effects that we can use, but I would say the primary one, the other ones really to add additional things uh, into your project, different type of sounds, uh, texture and all that. But the main ones I would say EQ, delay, reverb, compressors. Those ones I believe you always use those. The other ones will be just when you really need it. So that's what we're focusing right now on the equalizer, and we're gonna see some of the other ones. So over here, again, let's go ahead and let's have a look at this. So when I bring it here, I feel like I'm losing too much. I'm gonna leave it here, but I'm gonna bring down that slope so it cuts it a little bit more. Okay, that sounds good to me. Let's go ahead over here. So what I'm gonna do, let me leave it here. I'm gonna show you. Actually, I'm gonna show you something. So. So I'm gonna have it here, right? And what I can do again is add another equalizer. Again, very subtle. And the other thing that you need to keep in mind as well is because what we did at the very beginning when we used the pink over here was to set a little bit starting point for the volume. When you go ahead and you add effects, equalizing, compressor, and distortion and all those different things, it's adding to whatever you already had there, right? So you need to be mindful of that because basically if you're adding too much, it won't respect whatever we had there, and you need to go ahead and try to reset all those different volume levels there. Alright, so we just have a couple more to go over here. Let's do it a little bit quickly this time. I have this one over here that plays. One second. It's just that this is what I have. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at that. Just gonna have it here. So we have nothing here, so that doesn't need to play. We don't need anything there. So I'm just gonna go ahead here. I'm gonna set the low pass. Gonna have it here and bring it up. Let me see over here. I'm losing too much, right? So over here seems nice. Right, so just over here seems nice. And there is a lot of rumbling here. All that seems like it doesn't do anything, but it's playing here. I think the main part is from here to there. So I'm gonna go a high pass. You see, like I've removed all of that was playing here, but I'm still getting a little bit most of the same sound. So now it seems like I removed too much. I'm gonna leave it here, and I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, just a bit. Right. So the main part that I did remove there was a lot of the base that I don't really need, right? I don't really need it to be generating base. So I'm gonna come up here and just see. So in this case over here, that part doesn't do anything. We don't have any data there. So this is not doing anything for me. The main thing is gonna be in this part over here, right? So I think I'm gonna leave it here, mostly because as well I did remove a lot of the base that was there that maybe was good, but because I have removed it, I wanted to have a little bit more emphasis on those areas over here on the, so that would be a little bit around here. Which one is it? 0. So that would be 360 hertz over here, right? So that would be around here, right? So that would be the sweet spot. That would be around here. Okay, we are at 300, and if you look over here, 390, 360 is about that part of it. Okay, so this is what we have. So I can just let me see again. Yeah, remove, add, right? So now we don't have the whole base that was kind of there, but it's a little bit more powerful, right? So okay, so that is that. Oh, here we go. Okay, myself confused again. Okay, sounds good for me. Let's go over here. Okay, sounds good to me. And let's move really quickly to this one. This one plays at the end, so I'm just gonna take this part over here. Okay, so all this part is really not needed, right? If we even go, we add span, a little bit too much that we see over here. This is primarily where the harmonics are, but anything there is not needed. But if I go ahead and bring the range, we have all the data there, right? So So it seems like when I'm doing this, I'm cutting a little bit more of that area, but that's when, you know, I'm adding another, I can add another equalizer and bring that up, even though over here I'm cutting that part a little bit more, right? That low pass. Okay. So let's go ahead and add right. Seems good. Okay. So this is what we have. See really quickly here when I'm gonna try to that snare. Actually, let me play. Let me play from here to here, from here to here. If you pay attention to the snare, you're gonna see it seems like the snare is overpowered by the other instruments. I'm going to bring the snare. So you can see really quickly that, you know, we're able to polish a little bit more the instrument, focus on really where their frequencies is are the strongest, remove any frequencies where they're not really supposed to be playing, because if you do that, you have about 10 instruments there. It's gonna start to add up slowly there, and you know, you might not really notice it. You might hear it, but you don't know where it's coming from, right? So that's why we want to make sure that we try to clean up those areas. So if you look up here, the thing as well, those instruments are fairly efficient, but they do use quite a bit of power over here. If you look, that's the main thing is the good thing about using the main plugins from FL Studio is they're not using a lot of CPU power. So, but the great thing is because we were able to have all our data here in Wave, over here the only power that we're using now are the plugins for a mixing track. But if you have at the same time the plugins over here that you have playing and this one over here, really quickly you know, it's going to be using all the RAM that you have. So just depends as well on how many tracks you have, but it starts to add up. So this is what I have for you. My process, this is my process. There are different things, different processes out there. Some people tend to be a little bit more creative, and the other thing I want to mention, you actually have some people actually using the equalizer to do some sound design, right? So that would be the example where you actually have the trumpet that is playing like it was coming from a phone, right? You have some people that really want that, but usually I'm just trying to keep the same spirit that I had when I was making the track over here without any effects. I might add a couple more here and there, but most of the time I'm just trying to keep the same spirit and have it here when I'm mixing over here. Okay, so this is what I have for you. Let's move on to the next section, to the next plugin that we're gonna be using. Okay, thank you, guys. If you enjoy the content, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to let you know about my free mastering mini course that's gonna be available there in the description. You're also gonna get with that free banger drums kit, right, with some crazy samples. Basically, you're gonna be able to make some crazy drum patterns. Okay, so the link is gonna be in the description. It's gonna let you know how you're gonna have access to it, and I will talk to you in another video.